welcome to another episode of the Fellas. I can't even say it no more. I am no longer your producer, B.Money. I am no longer your host. Well, host maybe. Producing? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm your boy, B.Money, and I'm going to pass it on to the new executive producer, the new guy in charge, my guy B.Money, otherwise known as Bonehead. What up, my guy?
What up? You know what I'm saying? Appreciate the opportunity.
Hey,
Hey, I ain't gonna hold y'all, so let's go ahead and get into it. Today our topic that we are gonna be talking about is called insecure-ish.
Now I done gave. Wait, hold up. Now I done gave you the reins, bro, and you done jacked it up already, man.
I jack it up.
Brother Drew, how you doing, man?
Oh, my bad. All right, can we remove it?
I'm keeping this part in the show. Corrective action.
All right. Well, shoot, let me go ahead and take it. And you know what? Since I'm the producer, brother Mo, how you doing?
yo, first, I would like to say greetings and salutations out there. Hey, listen, I don't know what's going on, but I don't smell the energy as I usually smell it. So, you know what I'm saying? I think we just need to go ahead and give my boy another round of applause for the great job he has been doing as producer up until this point, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to go ahead and give you the flowers, bro, because you've been holding it down with the merch, with the material we've been needing, the editing, all of that, man. So, you know what I'm saying? I know that's a big job and a huge task, including everything else you got going on. So, first I want to, definitely throw those numbers out there to you. Second of all, congratulations, money. Always holding it down. I know you're gonna do a great job. Yeah,
Already
man.
messed up though.
So what's good, man? I mean, we gonna flex on these questions. Like, how we doing, man? Like, what's up, gents? What's up, money? What's up, Jew? Hey, Mr. Space Force himself, man. Yo, this man is sending rockets out here on a freaking weekly basis, man. Like, I just want to let y'all know how critical he is to this environment. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely trying to help bring down global warming. I believe. G14 classified. I don't know shit. I'm guessing, man. What's up, Drew? What's up, Drew?
Hey,
What's
hey,
up?
I'm living good out here. I'm looking forward to us getting back in the trap. I mean, I know we just had a show release about 2 or 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and then so I know we had our summer hiatus a little bit as we were out on the road. But I'm glad to be back. Yeah, I am. You're right. I'm glad we had a successful launch. Getting ready to hopefully pray that everybody's first safe in Florida right now with everything that's going on with the storms and the hurricane, but also hoping that it clears up pretty soon so we can get back down there to keep on launching things and living life. We all deserve to live. I'm good though.
That's what's up. That's what's
Yo,
up, man. You
hey,
on the
hey, hold
screen?
up. I just want to say real quick. Did y'all see on social media where it was manatees in the streets of Florida, man?
Nah.
I'm not
Like,
surprised. It's unfortunate because they're endangered as well too. I sent that video when I was free diving and the manatee swam over my head, and there was this little girl that was up on the side and was like, "Don't touch the manatee! Don't touch the manatee! Keep them safe!" And I was just like, "Yeah." So to see them on the streets, it's unfortunate, but now they dealing with what 15% of America deals with.
Hey man, Vivon, how you doing, bro?
I'm here, man. I'm living. You know what I'm saying? A few hefty vibes. You know what I mean? I'm just chilling, bro.
All
hey,
right.
you sound real. We need you closer. We need you closer to the mic. We can't even really hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Now,
Yeah,
okay.
there we go.
Now you
Yo,
loud and clear.
oh man, there go
Hey
I
man, hey,
smell
hey
the
man, don't kill that man vibe. He trying to, lean back, have his
I'm
chest
just
out and
saying,
be on his low
hey,
voice.
I'm just
You know,
hold
I'm
on.
just,
I'm just saying, my
I'm just.
man's is mad far. Like I want to make sure that everybody can hear how. First of all, he speaks highly, so we want to make sure that everybody can, hear how great of a speaker this man is.
Hey man, look, we about to jump into this
Thank
show.
you, P. Let's get into it, bro.
We about to jump into this show, man, so we can go ahead and get y'all this good content, as you see. But again, after my corrective action, we gonna come to y'all with a topic. It's called insecure-ish. This came up from just an experience that I saw, and got me wondering. So because this is such a, let me say, it has so much that can be spoke about it. We're gonna actually do two parts. So today we're just gonna hit y'all with a little bit. This is part one, and then keep your eyes out for part two. But moving forward, what we're gonna talk about, we got three questions. I'm gonna give them to y'all up front, so y'all know where we're going. Give y'all a little insight and what to look for throughout the show. So the first question we're gonna be asking is, how important is it to be compatible when entering into a relationship? Second one is going to be how important is your growth? And last one is, if you are not growing together, what challenges can be birthed? So I don't want everybody to start going all different ways. So I'm gonna put a quick definition on relationship, because we're not just talking about significant others. We're talking about just any relationship in your life, hit all your mental health. So the definition of relationship is the way in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected, or the state of being connected. So with that being said, like I said, we ain't gonna hold y'all long. Let's jump right into this first question. Brother Mo, I'm coming at you first. You know what I'm saying? Because I see you got that energy, you got that smile, you ready to get it. How important is it to be compatible when entering into a relationship?
I think that it's all on how you want to leverage compatibility, because just as great as you're compatible, sometimes it's even greater to have somebody of the opposite to give you a different perspective and to just help you advance your plan or your move with that person in a relationship. Um, Sometimes the opposite, and they say this opposites attract, and and maybe even in compatibility, but that's what I think.
Okay.
Simple.
Hey, Brother B, what you think?
So you could tackle this question a few different ways. In my opinion, uh, what brings people together is their like-mindedness. Are they on the same vibe, the same wavelength? Are they swimming in the same direction? You know what I mean? That's what typically brings people together. Now, once you guys get together, whether that be a friend or a significant other, or whatever the case may be, uh, that's where the compatibility piece can go different directions. But you have to have that commonality in the beginning to even get to the point of asking yourself, "Am I compatible with this person?" So yeah, it's very important to have a common, like-minded, you know what I'm saying, frame of mind in order to even communicate in the beginning.
Fair, fair. Brother Jew, what
Yo,
makes
can I
people
get a
compatible?
sound check? You got me loud and clear.
Lima Charlie.
Yo, you s-
All right.
all right? You got the key sweat on.
Copy that. So, I actually like everything that both of y'all just said. One thing I used to say, Mo, is opposites do attract. But when we're talking about from a relationship as a significant other piece, I don't think opposites stay together. And I think you can actually spin that into just casual friendships and situationships. It's going to be nice because it's enticing to something you don't have that could fill the voids that you may have. But after a while, it's going to be in a situation where it's like, I'm kind of tired of you because we don't have anything in common, like what you were saying, B-Bon. And so for me, I'm just going to put a statistic with it. I say I look for like a 70% compatibility, because I do, blending what y'all said, I do need a lot of likeness and commonalities for the direction that I'm planning to go with my life. But also what you said, Mo, I don't want to be around a bunch of people that's exactly like me. Humbly, I say I
Well, you
appreciate the person
can't
that
be.
I am.
You
You
can't
said
be.
what?
Ultimately, if you are an alpha males can't be around alpha males.
That's true, and that exactly, and that's usually what my circle and the people I'm around are like. But even with alpha males being around alpha males, there's different versions of that, and there are some people that I'm just like,
How
yeah, you
can
still
how can
kind
we
of
say
young.
Hey, bro, before we go too far, Mo, I'm gonna come right to you. But hey, man, Jew, can you give the definition on situationships? I need to know what that is, man. Cause we already we've been on friendship.
That can be. So I don't think, actually, I'm not even going to say, because I'm really big on like words. I'm not even going to say that it's not in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, because that's the one I go to first. Like everybody has their version of the Bible, minus King James. But anyhow, situationships can be a lot of different things. It could be you had to work this job for a little bit. You really don't want to mess with these people at this job, but it's just the situation you're in financially. You got to be with them. You got to go holler at this dude because you don't have no money. You broke, but he got money. So just like the situation you're in at this point in time, you got family members that you don't really want to mess with anymore, but it's just a situation you're in because it's blood. So there's a lot of different things that go in situationships, but at the end of the day, it's still all a relationship.
Hey, man, I just want to say 100% Juicer running for president. Hey, because I tried to trip that man up. He came back with a great political answer, man. Great job, Jew. Great job. Go ahead and speak on your mind, bro. Brother Mo. Actually, Brother Jew said something. So I'm going to push that to you and allow you to, expound upon what you was going to say. He said that 70% threshold of that similarities. Can you speak on that as well as what else was on your mind, brother?
Well, when it comes, because when now thinking about it, all right, let me get my shit together, right? So but this is how. First of all, I was going to say, let me ask some.
Go ahead, get that first.
So first of all, when my brother B was like, "Yo, alpha males can't be around alpha males," that's not true because we get around each other, and I'm pretty sure y'all not betas. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty.
Yeah, he was saying they are usually around each other. Yeah.
But let me. Let me throw this caveat in there. Yes, we can be around each other, Mo, but for extended periods of time, somebody takes a back seat at some point in time. Somebody has to take. Egos have to be level set at some point in time.
Well, if we in the right lanes and we round each other, like, you know what I'm saying? Like if we're like NASCAR drivers, right? And you had the late great Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon and all them lined up beside each other, right? And they on the road racing. None of them gonna ever look to ease off the gas pedal to pull back to be. We all gonna still be striving to be great. You know what I'm saying? And that's what pushes us to continue to be great alpha men, is because we all are competitive in a sense to where we're competing to continue to shine in greatness. You know what I'm saying? That's just who we are, I believe.
I think that gets to the compatibility piece, because even with being great, there's still a level of humility that you need to have as well too.
Right.
We get to a situation where I know when to fall back because my brother got it.
Right, but this is why I said, like, being around y'all and hearing other thoughts help other alpha males, like, and hearing it from a different angle, to where it's like, you know what, you're right. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not at a full, like, I ain't putting no percentage, like, opposites attract, but if you were to say, I will rock with you with the 70, between the 70 and 85, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna need a little bit more than that, because goals and aspirations and stuff like that you know what I'm saying, you're looking to achieve in that relationship with male, female. I'm talking about friendship, relationship, spiritual ship, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You have to really be having aligned mindsets. So compatibility in that aspect is definitely highly important. So it depends on what level I would say we're looking at it.
So we got Brother Jew at 70%. We got Brother Mo at 70 to 85. Before we move forward, B, what's your number of level of compatibility or similarities to be acceptable compatibility?
I don't think I have one, man. I'm an open-minded, individual. So I'll give anybody a shot until you cross me.
Hold up.
I get what you're saying, but are you saying I'm not open-minded because of the fact that I said 70%? I know you're not, but I'm just saying. I gotta throw that out there.
I'm just saying I can't put a number on it because anybody can get a chance with B.Money until. And I hate talking in third person, but anybody get a shot until I feel like you cross me, and then I'll be like, eh.
So that's fair, and I'm actually going to hold my thought on that because it actually goes in line with one of the future questions. So I do agree with you, and those numbers can change, but it's based off of what we're going to get into a little bit later. So I'm gonna pause right there.
I'm a Christian at the end of the day, man.
Hey, so hot off the press, B.Money is open-minded, Juicer is not, and Brother Mo is not. With that being said, since you said that now, B, I'm actually going to start with you on our next something else that I want to was thinking about. So, how does differences factor into your acceptance of like that level of compatibility? Since you like open-minded, how does that, since you say like the similarities, there's no percentage, so you got the similarities that's acceptable. But what about the differences, and how do you factor that into your open-mindedness?
So here's what it is, man. It's always cool to be cool with somebody till you don't have to be cool with them no more. And I've always lived by that. In the sense, and this is what I mean by that. If you're gonna continue to kick against the brick and we can't come to a common ground, and all we're gonna do is argue, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At some point, you need to know when to call a spade and say, you know what, I just don't like you. Or, you know what, we just ain't going to be able to kick it. Or we just can't be, you know what I mean, grouped together in such a way. Because we have nothing in common. So, for some people, it might take months. For some people, it could take years. But when you hit that point, you got to know when to cut it off. Cut it.
So if you open to the differences, and I get what you're saying when you say there's like that cutoff point. So should that be like, I feel like now you should have a number for similarities, because you kind of say, even if like the acceptance of it. So the key word I used was like acceptance of compatibility.
Yeah.
So I mean, like you can be open-minded to be like,
black, I could say it's blue. I accept that you think it's blue, brother. But at the end of the day, it's black.
That's fair.
I think, yeah.
But isn't that a point of opinion? And but at that, and also when you keep it open like that, right? Are you now settling for shit for stuff that normally you would be like, hold on, I ain't going for, like, because
but that's why I say, Mo,
not...
you got to know when to cut it. You have don't get to a point of settling and just be like, you know what, we just not going to see eye to eye.
But hold on, but I'm saying if you're open to it, if you say I'm open to it, right, and they are so different that if you're open to it, so how can you not accept how they come in if you one shot it and you be like, oh, hold up, this is wrong in me because, of my beliefs or whatever I believe.
Can I address that, B? Can I address that real quick?
But
I would say to that, to directly answer your question, is that you don't know if you're going to accept it in the beginning or not. So you're allowing everybody to occupy a space in your life at that point. And then you're like, oh, as you guys start to migrate, as you start to move and shake and do things, you're like, hey, I'm noticing some things I'm not vibing with. Let's talk about this for a minute. You know what I mean? And then if you guys can't come to common ground once you start to talk about it, I'm just saying I'm not automatically going to be shut off to you. Or I'm not going to say 80%. I need an 80% compatibility. This ain't Bumble. I ain't swiping to the left or to the right. I'm just.
Well, let me ask you this: do you have any non-negotiables? Like, because you have.
Well, I think. Sorry, I know you're producing, bro, but I think that's a whole different conversation. Non-negotiables, non-consensus in a relationship.
Okay,
I think it's not. But I'm just saying, if you want to get through, like, where you're driving is, because I think B is actually touching on the piece that. And like I said, I agree with you, and I did hold off on the fact that it doesn't have to be a 70% thing, but it's based off of some of the things we're going to get into. And then for me personally, I say 70% because I always think that 30% that I'm leaving open is part of me needing to continue to be humble in my level of growth, of seeing is there something that person can provide for me, and if they can't, that's where those levels of differences, to kind of getting on your question, B. Whereas like, there's too many differences here for me to really continue to stay in this particular situationship relationship.
So, but Mo, did you have some, bro? It looked like you.
Well, I just feel like as a man of standards, you know what I'm saying, and listening and knowing what's really going on, I, you know what I'm saying, and I'm carrying a lot, and I'm providing, and I'm doing what I need to do. You know, it's I'm gonna be open to a lot of stuff, but I need to lead this in this kind of way. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I'm gonna be open to it. That's why, matter of fact, I might even say 80 because that 20% is open to other stuff where I can learn and all of that bit. You know, part of I feel like just setting a standard is, you know, holding your ground to a lot of stuff. Like even with trying to be compatible with like with friends and stuff, like setting a foundation. You know what I mean? Being open to other stuff is great.
But
You
you feel
know?
like that 80-20 rule that most people use in relationships is a fair standard to at least kind of go
I,
by.
yes, sir.
All right,
Yes, sir.
that's fair. That's fair. So moving forward is we're gonna stay on the same topic, but slightly gonna pivot a little bit. Brother B, how important is growth to you?
Very, very. I mean, you never stop growing. You never. It's almost like learning. You never stop. The moment that you content with where you are, you know, that's when there has to be a conversation had in any relationship, situationship, as you would say. Uh, you know, we should be able to push each other to continuously do better. And if we get to that point where you're not pushing me to be better, and I'm not pushing you, what's the point of the relationship?
Okay. What about you, brother Mo?
I agree 100% with the uh, growth is highly important. I'm gonna look at it like trees. You know, if the roots are dead, you know, you can't feed it. You know, I can't produce anything. So what is it gonna be good for? But being chopped down.
And if
So,
the trees ain't growing, you can't smoke them, can you?
uh,
Brother Jew,
I
what's your thoughts on this?
I'm gonna add another word to growth, which is in the same vein as development. Growth and development, and I'll leave it short, is very important to me. It's literally one of the principles of who I am as a person because you got to break down certain walls of what we thought was good before might not be good, and you need to grow or develop in a different
fact,
area. But I'll leave it there.
All right, so y'all know I'm LeBron with it. So I asked that question so I could throw myself the assist to take us back with these other questions that we asked previously about similarities and differences. Because ultimately, in relationships, as my brothers all stated, that if just in life, if you're not growing, then you failing. So with that being said, one key component.
Wait a minute now. Can you? All right, Mr. Producer. Is that
What you
something?
say?
Do you stand on that? If you're not growing, you failing?
I say yes.
Yeah,
I believe if you're not growing, you failing.
I don't. So only thing I'm gonna
well,
push back on you because I use a similar term all the time.
That's my
Yeah,
answer.
okay.
You
I
said what?
say if you're not growing, then you can only be getting worse. And I don't think it's
well,
necessarily failing
well,
because it's gonna get to a
well,
point. I'm gonna be 60 years old and going to be achieved a lot of different things in life. But just because I don't continue to grow anymore, that might be a choice. I don't
But
think
that's
I'm
a
failing in
but
that
that's
moment.
growth. No, I feel the reason I say
well,
you're because growth is always different. It can be different perspectives. And since nobody's all knowing, like none of us until even once we leave this earth, or to the day that you take your last breath, nobody's ever gonna be perfect. You know what I'm saying? Especially as my brother B says, being a Christian man, we know we're not gonna be perfect. So we always
But
strive.
that's why
uh,
I
uh,
can't say if you're not growing, you failing because I think I'm gonna say that for
you
part
know,
two. Say that for part two. I'm gonna say that for
yeah, I would say stagnant. You know what I mean? Because you can hit at a plateau, and until you open up to new things, like, and I'll put it in perspective of working out, right? You can
Yeah,
be
I was
doing
just
the
about to say
same workout
weightlifting
for a
terms.
certain, yeah, you can be doing it for a certain same thing for a certain amount of time, and then at some point you just gonna get right here. Even if you increase the numbers, you're still gonna stay right here. It might go up just a little bit, but until you say, hey, you know what? Instead of hitting weights, I'm gonna do resistance bands. that automatically shoot your muscles to a whole nother level just because it's doing something different. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna save it for part
everybody.
two.
You said
I,
what, B?
I'm gonna save it for part two. I'm gonna definitely save
Yeah,
it.
and I
yeah,
think honestly to also give a little bit to what you're saying, B, I think it's a growth mindset. If you don't have a growth mindset, then you could be failing because you're at least not trying to operate in a certain
and,
fashion. But
and I just want
everybody's
to say,
gonna hit a
I
plateau.
jumped all over the producer right off the back. Like as soon as I said it, it was just like, "Hey, y'all didn't even give me no opportunity. Like, hey, can you expound on? Can you give a little bit more? You know?" But I feel y'all. But with that being said, is how does in the process of growing, since it is so important and relationships are key to our development and growth, how does the compatibility and similarities and differences affect y'all, or how do y'all, how to say, implement it into your level of growth where you have your cutoff game, all of that? I was gonna start with Brother Jew, but he disappeared on us, so I'm coming to you, B first, B.
I'm having a hard time answering that question, and here's why. Because relationships for me, uh, have you ever seen the movie Meet the Parents?
Yep.
You remember that scene where Robert De Niro is talking about the circle of trust,
Yeah.
and once you in the circle, you in the circle, but it's hard to get in the circle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So relationships for me is kind of like that circle of trust. My circle is very tight. It's very, very, very small. But as a Christian man, as a believer, I allow myself to interact with different walks of life.
Fair.
I might not agree with that walk of life, but I'll interact with it. You know what I mean? But they can't infiltrate that circle. So for me to say that we have a relationship, that means you're in my circle, right? So at that point, whatever our differences are, I feel like we could come to some common ground and have a conversation because you've already made it inside that circle. So I have a hard time answering your question because I'll entertain others with no intention of putting them inside of my circle. If that makes sense.
I feel like it makes sense. I guess, even going back to the first level of like compatibility, I guess that's when I said the threshold. So what do you, and I'm not trying to backtrack, but
Yeah, I think you do want to. I'm just playing.
no, hey, I just want y'all to know. All my life, you've been a disrespectful. I'm keep it PC for the children, but you the same as anybody who's ever seen the 5 heartbeats. Go check out the show stats. One of the top 3. Same selfish.
Wait.
So
Okay, there. Actually, you did say top 3. Never mind. I digress. Sorry, bro.
You
I
said
know.
you said
I did say stats first, and then I said top 3. You're right.
I know
Top
that's
3
right.
is the episode out.
you said Five Heartbeats is the top 3 movie of all time.
It's in one of my top 3. It's one of my top 3 favorites.
It wasn't in mine. That's why everybody should go watch top 3. It's unlisted right
Everybody
now.
should go watch top 3.
Check the
But I
playlist.
digress. My bad. Anyways, as I stated, that's what when I was saying earlier about that compatibility, like there has to be that threshold, and that's why I was speaking about more was that threshold that puts them in to that circle of trust where you can operate to grow based off of those differences or where you can see those. That's the question I was just trying to get to earlier. But anyways, let's move forward. Ju, what's your view on how do you, since growth is so important to you, what's your views on how you manage the differences, similarities, your compatibility?
So sorry. I'm sorry for saying that was unnecessary. So I don't. Did you unbutton? Did you unbutton your shirt? Sorry, I left for a little bit. I started seeing change a little bit.
That's why they boys. Hey, that's why they boys. The similarities.
hey,
O and B, shirts open, leaning back.
hey, hold on. Hey, listen. First of all, I just want to let y'all know I'm out here, you know, putting rubber to the road. Okay, so if y'all get the, if I'm blessing y'all with being able to see this, His body up.
Hey, you getting that shmoney. No, I realized some change. I stepped off camera for about 20 seconds and I realized my environment changed a little bit, but it's all good, bro. Do your thing. But the the growth and development for me, a lot of things are not really in your control. The only thing I can control is how I grow and develop. You can't really control the people around you and if they're going to go in that path. Uh, I heard B.Money a little bit saying, keeping a tight circle. I'm the same way. I have a lot of circles. Just the nature of my life over the past years, over my past 30 plus years, is that I have different circles for different reasons. But ultimately, my main circle is very tight. And that's because of the fact that the compatibility, going back to what you said before, people became part of the circle for whatever that reason that relationship was, because we had like mindedness and we were growing in the same direction. Usually, I don't stick around a lot of people for a long time if we're not at least growing in the same direction, even if it's at different paces. But it's all set based off of vision. And I'm not really going to go on vision because I know we're going to have another show in the future about that. But it's very important for me. And I can manage people growing at different paces to answer your question that you asked me, B. But at the same time, it still has to be growing towards a common goal, regardless of what that speed is. If it's not growing, if it's going towards a common goal, I know I have faults, I have failures. But at the same time, I can say 100% for myself, I'm always working towards something in every single aspect of my life. And I don't expect that of other people, but the things in which our relationship is entailed, we need to be growing or it's not going to last that much longer.
Mo.
Yes, sir. Uh,
I just
how
repeat.
does
Yeah, I agree with you, bro. How does your since growth is so important to you, how does your differences, how do you factor in your differences and similarities within people to, grow?
uh, I like to say in my terms, I would use adjusting accordingly. Um, in some aspects, even the non-compatible somehow may be working, you know, to where it works for me. You know what I mean? Even though we may disagree in old types of ways, and but if like Brother Drew said, if we have a common ground, and we both growing and developing in that way, then you know I can put as a man, I know when to put down my differences and look to move forward. Um, so that's that's how I'm learning as and I'm continuing to learn as I get older. Um, it's just you know allowing what you're gonna allow in your mental real estate, and that's that. Yeah, simple.
Hey, I do want to, I like that you said mental real estate and energies. So I do want to add
Yes,
that
sir.
to the growth and development and I think compatibility and all of that. That is real huge in any relationships. If people's energy isn't matching, and that's like the magical word now. So I know we saying compatibility, but for the young folk, let's say energies. Your energy just isn't matching, and you're not growing to whatever that goal is. I do want to throw the word
Yeah.
SMART goal out there. I think it's like measurable, attainable, realistic, timely, specific is the S. People have enough conversations in their relationships to talk about what are those goals you're trying to achieve. It can be something like, hey, we about to have a goal to go get messed up tonight or to go kick it really good. But both people should know what that kicking it real good looks like. But those energies should be on the same level. And I appreciate that mental real estate because wherever I'm growing, I just don't have a lot of mental real estate to
No,
entertain
sir.
stuff that is not going
No.
in the direction I'm
Hey,
going. And I would cut somebody off in a heartbeat if it's taking away my
yes.
mental real estate to
And
achieve.
this is what's so crazy, right? Is why are you bashed for not allowing that person to lease the mental real estate that you have?
Yep. People shouldn't do it. Kick people out of your life.
You expect
Or there goes a piece of that growth of not allowing people to take up that space in your mental real estate too. So it is both parts. That's me
so
pushing
you
back on
saying
that.
you get bashed for cutting people off for not allowing them to
Yes,
take up
yes,
that?
or yeah, or even like telling the truth in it. You know, it's like, oh, You know, how could you say that? Like, yo, how can I say the truth? Like, you know that like B Bond said, like how can is we're not going nowhere. You gotta go. Deuces. What Chris Brown say? Chucking up the deuces.
Like I said, it's cool to not be cool no more. You know what I'm saying? It's cool to not be cool.
It's cool. Yo, that I actually have used that slogan a couple of times already since you told me that. Like, yo,
Or it's
it
okay
actually
to
might flip.
agree to disagree. It's cool to not be cool. It's okay to agree to not disagree.
Yeah, that's an old one. But you know what I'm saying? It's cool to not to be cool. Is that's like people now saying fat. You know, like that's 100. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean,
100.
I feel, I haven't spoke too much on any of these questions except for the one thing I said and then got jumped on. But so I'm a little afraid to speak my mind.
No, please speak your mind. No, listen.
Because everybody that's open-minded as they claim.
Let them nuts hang, son, and just don't.
But I'm very strategic in my mind in the love what I allow. And again, I like the way you said mental real estate. I used to use the word like my bandwidth as a whole, because there's five pillars in my life. You have your first one I put first is spiritual. You have your financial, emotional, mental, and physical. And in all of those aspects, in all of those pillars, I have to have some similarities in each category that allows. Go ahead, hold on. We're going to pause. Count it up, Jew.
I think I missed one. Hold on.
And maybe I skipped one. So let's go. Spiritual,
emotional, and physical.
Did I say emotional?
Yeah, spiritual, emotional, financial, physical.
Social. I missed social.
Okay, I'm just.
No.
Only at 2 hours. I just make sure I didn't miss one. Okay, sorry.
Hey, get it right for the viewers. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I can humble myself in this situation to acknowledge that. But anyways.
Hey, I like our compatibility, little brother. The fact that you knew that I was like, hold on, this ninja.
Yeah, I know. I saw you over there counting. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it is what it is. Rain Man with the numbers. Do it, bro. But as I say, in my life, just being straightforward, I have to have some similarity in either one of those categories, if not just a little bit in each of those categories. Now, I'd be open-minded to what level that may be. But as I state, me being strategic, I already know certain things in my life that I fit how I feel, how I move. And even though I'm open-minded to always keep learning, I know that some of those things can derail me. And that's having, as I think Brother Mo stated early, was standards. And some of those standards, in the way that this world switches up so much now, if you're not solid in knowing who you are, it affects you even being able to properly evaluate what your similarities and differences are. I don't ever want somebody to pull me off of my what my standard is just so I can be similar to them. And that's the thing and then you don't have no grounds of what you know and what you're compatible with. And then that's how you end up in toxic relationships or situationships.
Situationships. No, actually, no. In this situation, that's a toxic relationship. And I actually like that you use that word because some people don't know when to leave a relationship. And toxic relationships are sometimes associated with significant others. No, there's friendships that are toxic relationships. I do want to say something you said because we talked about growth in a certain area, but I like the fact that you broke it down by those different 5 factors and even circling it back to what I said at 70%. Not saying that those 5 factors are necessarily mine. I think they're just good to relate the 2 topics. Everybody's not going to hit, and I know I've said this in a previous show for the people that's been around for, everybody's not going to hit everything for you. And that's why God created relationships and people for us to be in community, because you go to different sources for different things. However, circling back to the topic at hand, or the question at hand on the growth piece, that's why some people say, I know I can't be your everything, friendship, significant other, whatever it is, but we're going to continue to grow in a path to see if I can at least get somewhat compatible with you. Humility, people need to understand that that person is not going to be my everything. Maybe they're not charismatic, so I can't expect them to be charismatic, but at least they're trying to be a little witty and stuff like that. And you have to appreciate that in their growth and their development. when you see that people may be at like a 40% or a 60 percentile, you shouldn't go down that low anyway. That's when you're breaking your standards if you have some. And they're not growing to develop to get up to that, then that's when you got to be like, let me end this relationship sooner than I want to say. You would say something.
And that's what I was going to say too. That's when relationships fail because people expect that person to be, even in friendships, to be their everything. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have some semblance of your own sense of everything. You get what I'm saying? You should be able to. You shouldn't look for your completion in anybody else. If you're looking for your completion in somebody else, that relationship will never work. In my
except
opinion.
for God.
Except for God. It'll never work in my opinion. But and that's when it becomes toxic. You might start putting hands on somebody, or you might have situations where you're cussing them out every day. You know what I'm saying? It just gets bad at that point.
Yeah.
So, if you're not complete with who you are as a person, you can't find it in nobody else, sweetheart. I'm sorry.
Right.
Well, it looked like you had something to say, and then I got something else for y'all.
No, I think you guys are hitting it right on the head. Hitting the nail on the head with it. Just in my opinion, I would just say the standard is for a reason, but being open to it is the key, because also we're not going to get everything on our checklist. You know what I mean? And we have that checklist for a reason. You know what I mean? And how I was raised is like, what I'm saying, you always hold yourself to a standard. I was never raised to be average. So being above average is always, what I'm saying, the way that I like to move. So with that being said, it's highly important to have a number to look at, so that way you can continue to follow the path that in which you're supposed to take. Because once you take on so much that you're not guarded for, walking on grounds that you're not ready for, that can make you acceptable to a lot of stuff, and some stuff we just not ready for.
In fact, I want to use something that Brother Jew said to take us into our last question. I don't want y'all to give too much, because we're gonna give the viewers more in part two. But I do want y'all to at least just give your quick thoughts on this. But Brother Jew, you said that they're in those pillars, 5 pillars, that the goal is for them to be towards that. Of course, it's not even if they, as Paul says, I press towards the mark. Even if they never reach a certain thing, the fact that they moving towards it, I think allows you to accept those type of things. However, if they are not moving towards that, what challenges can that birth, or what can come from that?
Failure. I had to say it once. You said it. So there's going to be a feeling of failure, and then that's where two like-minded people have a conversation that is just like, hey, we're growing at a different rate, but at the same time, I'm going to to tat. I'm going to drop the title of this episode, insecur-ish. It can lead to insecurities, which then you have to have a real conversation. Did those insecurities, were they already there, or is this something that was birthed out of the way things are going? So I just saw him move, and I didn't know if he was over.
I mean, your answer is solid, but
I didn't know if he was like shaking his hips like Shakira, or like what was going on.
Yo, listen, I swear I was back here mocking you because you over here.
Okay, yeah.
So, and because I'm already getting the blessed of viewers, so
there you go, bro.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think it can birth insecurity.
Yep.
Real quick, Merriam-Webster dictionary, insecure is not firmly fixed, liable to give way or break, able to be broken into or illicitly assessed. I'll leave it right there. Actually, I got to go to part 2. Sorry, because I just saw this. The angel's envy is creeping in. Not confident or assured, uncertain, and anxious. And that was actually better than the other one, but go ahead. I'm done.
All right, Brother Mo, since you got your arms raised,
Yes.
What's your thought process? What if you're not growing together, what can come from that? What can be birthed in any relationship?
Wasted time. Like B. Bond said, I mean, he ain't said too much, but what he did said, I can just piggyback over is like, I'm being entertained. Uh, somewhat of what I just like it's a fad. It's a right now. It's like internet. You know what I'm saying? You just going through. I might go back and watch it 2 or 3 times and get away from that. So it's just like honestly because it's like those one of those people that you're allowing to rent that you should have been kicked out and raised the rent and all this, but because of whatever small connection you have with them, is
Yeah.
boom. And it's I heard this guy say this today. I just want to quote this. I don't know who the heck said it, but the dude said, "Discipline over distraction." That's hitting. I gotta write that down. Discipline over distraction.
That look, that's why I don't have a TikTok because that distraction would probably slow me down from being disciplined and hitting my burpees and my push-ups and my workouts and everything.
All right, hey, brother B.
It's all hey now that's all on your mental, you know what I'm saying, how you can handle it. Everybody can handle
That's
it.
on your discipline. So I'm only gonna do this for 20 minutes a day. Look, iPhones lie. Sorry for you Droid folks out there, but iPhones will tell you were on socials for an hour today. My
Hey, you
discipline is 30. My discipline is 30 minutes a day. So, but I feel you. It doesn't have to be a distraction.
I mean, what's your answer, man? What's coming out of these situations?
It could birth so much, man. It could birth confusion. It could birth miscommunication. It could birth anger. You know what I mean? All the things that don't need to occupy or rent time in your mind. You know, um, because if we're not moving in the same direction, at some point we're gonna bump heads. And when in that bumping heads, when somebody's feet get held to the fire, that's when you find out. You know what I mean?
Character.
Where they
Who
are.
got who got who got the bunions and who got the soft feet?
Yeah, yeah. So, you know,
Because now
being
everybody can cross them burning sands.
correct, correct. So, all those things that it bursts, man, and it comes back to yeah, wasted time. But then us being, then I'm just gonna drop this nugget for you, and then I'm gonna save it for part two. But then we as humans always want, we get to that space where it's a waste of time, but then we make a decision, but we're gonna keep pressing forward anyway. We're gonna do it anyway because we want to be hard headed, and we want it our way. And then what ends up happening is you end up kicking against the bricks a little bit longer. Let's think about how all the time that we wasted kicking against the bricks on relationships we had no business being in.
Yeah, well, I think we should say that we got to say that for part two
Yeah, that's
because
what I say. Hey,
that
like,
that
hey,
that
look,
that that you come on, bro. Why you listen? You retired. You can't keep. You can't hit it this hard, man. What are you
I,
doing?
I kid you not. I told a friend of mine today, a third of your life has been spent in some bullshit. Think about that.
All right. So, do you include a job with that?
Yep. Because you
Woo.
need to know when to walk away from that
just
too. Sometimes I keep saying it's cool to not be cool. It's cool to walk
All right.
away, man.
So,
Ain't nothing
so,
wrong
so
with that.
is it cool? So, is it cool now to settle?
hey,
No.
whoa, wait, brother Mo, why you added 10 questions? Hey, look, man, look. See, this is why we had to pull brother B from being a producer because I don't think y'all getting all the knowledge this brother got. So and he gonna drop more of that in our part two. So I'm just gonna say my one quick thing, and then we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here and follow back up with y'all in part two. I'm just gonna throw one out there. I just say jealousy. But I'm gonna leave it at that because we're gonna dive deeper into some of these, and we're gonna probably have some guests, get some other thought processes.
Hey man, it's funny what jealousy make you do. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Hmm.
Jealousy, envy.
Yeah, I was going to say jealousy, envy.
Yeah. Hey, man, hey, at the
Hey,
end of the day,
have you real insecure?
hey, here, I'm gonna say this one last thing, and we're gonna wrap this up. The fellas gonna get right, bro. What did you? Since you don't have a problem doing this, go ahead and lift your hands up, bro. My brother has a tax that say, "Hey, born," and you know what I'm saying, and then he said "bred." So at the end of the day, we talked about y'all what's birthed out of these situations. In our part 2, we're gonna talk about what it breeds, and we're gonna dive deeper into that. So gave you another opportunity. Go ahead and flex. Go ahead and flex on the mo. B, go ahead and hit him with the chain. Fresh boy. Hey, this the fellas, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with us. I appreciate y'all with my bloopers at the beginning. Hey, man. Hey, we out of here. Hey, we out of here.
Hurry up.